Time to stop gaslighting the fans about Puerta, says James. Just what is going on, and are the fans being lied to? Well, let's find out, because our title this week is No Puerta, No Party. What is going on? And is Selles getting it wrong? We'll get Matty and Ben's view on both of those points on Where Tigers Walk, episode 29. Also, we're talking about who deserves to be promoted. Lots of chatter between Leeds and Sheffield United about deserving to go up, and what is the worst ever Hull City kit? There's a few out there which we could nominate. I'm going to put this one forward as potentially one of the worst. We've got Matty and Ben to give their thoughts on that and let us know in the comments as well. Let's jump straight into it, though. No Puerta, no party, Matty. What is going on?
I really don't know. I think there's a lot of rumours about this. You know, if he plays so many games, we have to buy him. Thing, but we're totally missing him in the midfield, and I think I've been banging on about it. We haven't got our best team out. How were we expected to win a game when we don't have our best players on the pitch? It needs. I mean, I think Hull Daily Mail asked him at the weekend about what's going on, and he's saying he's training well and he's just not being selected at the moment. But I don't know how how other players are getting in front of him. You know, yeah, Crooks scored on Saturday, but it don't bring an awful lot to the team. That's me personally. Slater didn't actually have a bad game on Saturday, but what we're missing is that control in midfield. Yeah, your fullbacks, we know we're chucking at fullback, but that midfield we are seriously lacking somebody to put the foot on it and keep the ball, because that is what's killing us. And it killed us Wednesday, it killed us Saturday. So yeah, we just want to know what's going on with him, because he should be playing. He got played a month in December, so I don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, this is obviously what Mike White said. Still lots of fans also asking questions. As referred to below, after club source about this, told once again there is nothing in suggestions they can't afford to play him due to clauses in contract. It's purely a football decision, which is baffling, Ben, isn't it? Matt here says it's blatantly obvious there's more to this. His fall from grace coincides with him starting to hit a vein of form, and tactically, we're set up no differently. At the same time, the club are unlikely to come out and admit what we're all thinking. So what is it all about? So, can you shed any light on it, Ben?
To be honest, I think I'm in the dark just as much as everyone else is. Like you said, or like they said on Twitter, and as Matty said, he was Player of the Month for December. Or was it was he January Player of the Month, or was it December? One of the two, anyway. He was
December, yeah.
Player of the Month, and his form was picking up after a little spell of not being quite as consistent. He was one of City's better players in the last couple of games, and then all of a sudden it's just come to a halt. I'm not sure why. I know Selles has said that it is down to the fact that there's 5 midfielders and there's only 3 spaces available, which to an extent makes sense, but it's also a bit of, he's probably the best or one of the best ones we have. Why is he not getting in? It's all very confusing, and like those people said on Twitter, I don't think the club is likely to come out and tell us that this is the exact reason why, if we can't afford him or whatever. So yeah, it's just baffling. It is a really, really strange situation.
Never heard of it before. And Norgraves from obviously the Not the Top 20 said the same club that told us repeatedly that Ryan Giles was an option to buy when it was really an obligation, to be honest. If it's a footballing decision to not play one of our best midfielders who just won a Player of the Month, then it is madness. And if you're mid-table, Matty, people could probably just about cope with it, but you are not. You're hovering above the trapdoor. So this makes people not just frustrated with it, it makes them furious, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty peeved with it, to be honest, because it's what we're clearly crying out for, is that control in midfield. You know, we went 1-0 up obviously on Saturday, but then we just sat back after we scored and what we needed was somebody just to take a bit of control. Alzate is doing a class job in there, and he is the one that is doing a great job in there. But Slater tries. Crooks is in a really strange position. He's kind of like playing up front. He's not playing in the midfield. So we're automatically losing that battle because you're playing up against teams that have got 3 in midfield, and he's not. He's kind of just up. He's kind of in that number 10 role, but he don't come back. So it does baffle me. And I'm how are we expected to get out of trouble if we don't play our best team, our best players? Barry started on Saturday and he showed really well first half, and I think he just got tired in the end. That's why he went off. But if you're not playing your best players, we're in deep trouble. That we need to start putting the best players on the pitch to give ourselves an actual chance of winning the games.
Let's have a look at some of the tweets from the game then, shall we? Cheers, both of you, for that. Absolutely head-scratching. Dan says, let's take the point from Norwich. Burstow and McLaughlin were very poor. A lot of them are simply not good enough. Why did we stop playing after we scored? And then some criticisms for Selles here, Ben. Ben says, substitution choices were very poor. It seems we can never kill teams off as well. We always switch off at the start of the second half for some daft reason. It's been levelled at you before, hasn't it? That you don't come out from half-time with the same sort of drive that you went in with it. What's going on there? And the substitutions, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have seen it a couple of times in the last few games where people and myself agreeing with that the subs have been a bit questionable. They'd probably not be the ones you'd have expected to bring off. But yeah, I don't know what it is with us at halftime. We just never seem to come out and act like we're the one that's leading the game, because at the time we were 1-0 up against, I know they're a mid-table side, but any game we have to be up for it, especially considering where we are on the table. So I don't know what it is, because surely at halftime you'd motivate the team to push on and go for the second goal, considering towards the latter half, the latter stages of the first half, we had dwindled out a little bit. So it's almost like we need that kick in the bum to come out and play, but it just doesn't really happen. And I don't know why. It's something that probably needs to happen pretty soon. Otherwise, it's going to be a very nervy ending to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 win in 5 then, Matty, with Sunderland to go this weekend, and then Cardiff, I think 5 days after that, midweek. Does he rest players for the Sunderland game and with an eye on the Cardiff one?
Probably not, because away from home seems the only route at the moment that we're probably going to get some. We're going to get some points from. So I think we're at the stage of the season where we can't afford to rest players. We have to go into every game trying to pick up points, and I think we keep saying we've got to play in the teams around us, but it comes to a point where we're going to be under so much pressure in those games that we need to win, that we shouldn't have to be in that position. We should have picked up points earlier. This game's a perfect example. Stoke game's a perfect example of where we should have won. And we're going to put ourselves under pressure when we have got Plymouth, Luton, and Derby at home, which they're going to be just absolute massive games. Whereas if we had a cushion on them, it would be a lot easier. So I just don't think we can rest players at the moment. I think we've got to go into every game expecting to pick up some points. So I'd go as strong as possible.
All right, one more tweet on this particular point then, Ben. We've just lost Matty for a second. Matt says, at what point are we allowed to start questioning a new manager's decisions? Norwich adjusted after our positive start. We didn't change anything tactically to deal with that. Just like substitutions, Macca, Coyle, Slater. It's a decent squad, but we are failing badly. Does he have a point, Ben?
To an extent, I'd say yes. We have got the squad is very high quality. There's a lot of very talented players, but we are at times just not quite seeming to have enough there to kick on and get the results, because obviously we go into half-time 1-0 up against someone like Norwich, who are not a bad side by any means. And I think there probably will come a time where you do question the decisions of someone like Selles, but I don't think you can quite question him just yet, because obviously he was put into a very tough situation after Tim Walter. Coming into that was a difficult one, because a lot of the players, like their mental state was rock bottom, considering the way that he treated them as humans. So yeah, it's a tough position to inherit, and I think we have to give him, at the very, very least, to the end of the season, and then allow him the time to sort of input his style of play properly, because he's not had enough time to do that this season. And I think a pre-season next season, whether that's in the Championship or League One, will allow him to embed everything properly, get all of the stuff working 100%. And I think if it goes wrong next season, that's when you start to question it. But for the time being this season, you can't really question it just yet, I don't think.
Okay. Let us know in the comments what you think. Right. Now, of course, it's coming up to the end of the season. We're 13 games away from it, so we're starting to predict what's going to happen. First off, Ben, there's been lots of chat. I know you probably don't care too much from the bottom of the league, but at the top of the league, there's lots of discussion about who deserves to go up based on styles of play and so on. From your point of view, from a whole fan, based on the 4 teams that you've watched so far, who deserves to go up in the top 2?
I think probably based on games that I've seen us play against them, I'd say Sunderland. I think they have a lot of quality. They have a lot of quality players. Obviously, when they played us, they were very, very good, very clinical as well. I think it was Isidore who scored for them as well, and he is just a very, very high level player for the Championship. There's obviously Leeds in there, who I think is probably everyone's favourite to do it. In first, it would pain me to see them win it again, but I think, to be honest, at this point, you've got to just give them the credit that they are a very, very good team. And I think a lot of the times when the top 3 go up, they seem to just come straight back down. But I think someone like Leeds would potentially have a bit more to solidify their place in the Premier League. It hurts to say that, it really does, but you just got to be honest. And I think they'd probably be, I don't want to say deserving winners, but they would, if I'm being completely honest. So them and Sunderland, and then I don't know. I think Burnley's style of play is a bit here and there. I mean, obviously they're, I think, 11 games now without conceding a goal, which is very impressive. But I was saying to my dad when I was watching the game against them midweek that I just don't know if that style of play would hold up against someone like a Liverpool or a Man City, where they're just going for 0-0s or a 1-0 win, etc. So, yeah, I think if I had to choose 2 for the automatics, it would be Leeds and Sunderland. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let us know what you think in the comments. Finally, this week we're looking at Hull City shirts, or the worst of. I can see a vast array there behind you, Ben. What's the worst that you own, do you think? Are you wearing it?
There is, there is, if I can find it, there's this one, which is, it's a bit of a,
we've got that one as well. Yeah.
There's that one, which is a bit of a questionable one. The sponsor as well was a big talking point when that one got released as well. That is for sure.
Yeah. What about there's another one as well, which is the blue one there. It's not a colour associated. It's more of a Leeds colour, isn't it? That.
Yeah, I think just the colour combination between the amber and the blue. For me, it just doesn't. I just don't really think that works together. And I know we didn't use it quite often that much last season. I think we might have only played in it once or twice, so it never really saw the light of day. But yeah, those 2 are probably down there. I do like the one on the left, having said that, but the one on the right is probably for me one of our worst ones.
Let's look at some home kits, shall we? I mean, there are some shockers here, aren't there? I mean, these 2 are right up there. The one on the left looks like it, should be made out of fur, shouldn't it?
I just love it. I love both of them.
Really?
I think,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
A lot of people have that opinion, and I think I can see why, because it is a very out there and a very different kit. I do actually have the one on the left. I think it's just behind. Yeah, just there.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I think it personifies Hull City. It's tiger stripes. It's exactly what you'd expect. I know we've never really gone anywhere near it since then, but I think it's a great kit. But yeah, I can definitely see why some people would have that sort of opinion, because it is a very out there home shirt.
Yeah. There's one more as well, which I think Matty gave us. He's had to dash off because internet's died. But this, yeah, the slash across the strip across there, just, I don't know, it doesn't look very appealing.
No, and again, it's not really what you'd expect from a Hull City home shirt. You'd expect black and amber stripes, and it's just it was a bit of a strange one. I think Matty did say it looks like a tire, like someone had driven over it. So yeah, it's not one of our best. That is for sure.
Okay. Right, let us know if we've missed any in the comments section below, or you can DM us on Twitter. Our DMs are open. Right, Ben. Good luck then, of course, this weekend, and we'll catch up with you in 7 days' time when hopefully the full team will be back. Thank you very much for watching Where Tigers Walk. We'll see you in 7 days. Have a great week, everyone.